Breaking news! Ravens flock. The NFL just dropped their top 100 list, and let's be honest, it sparked outrage. Kyle Hamilton at 51? Really? That's not just disrespectful, it's downright laughable. We're talking about the most versatile, hard-hitting, football IQ-loaded safety in the entire league, and somehow the rankings decided he's barely in the top half? Something doesn't add up here. But before we move on, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," down below. It lets us know you're riding with the flock, no matter what. Now, let's talk about this Hamilton snub. Any fan who's been watching this team closely knows the kind of generational talent Kyle Hamilton has become. He doesn't just play safety, he dominates from every inch of the field. Whether he's in the box, deep center field, or even lined up in the slot, Hamilton disrupts. Period. Missed tackles? Not in his vocabulary. And yet, somehow, he lands behind 50 other players in the NFL? No way. Joey Peterson, a voice we've all come to trust for real Ravens takes, couldn't hold back either. His belief? Kyle belongs in the top 35. And it's hard to argue. There's no better safety in the NFL right now, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a coordinator who wouldn't jump at the chance to build their secondary around him. Now moving on, Zay Flowers. There's a quiet storm brewing in Baltimore, and its name is Zay. After a rookie year that hinted at elite potential, Flowers put in serious work this offseason. We're talking about a guy who added a smart 10 to 15 pounds of muscle on a 5'0" frame. Why? Durability, strength, separation, and folks, it's showing. In camp, he's slicing through defenders with surgical precision. His route running looks crisp, explosive, and dangerous. Expect Zay to be a 1,000-yard receiver this year, but even bigger than stats, his presence changes the way defenses have to play this offense. If he had been healthy during that playoff run, maybe that Bills game ends differently. Maybe we're not sitting around wondering what if. Maybe we're celebrating something a whole lot sweeter. And then there's Odafe Oweh. If you're looking for the breakout candidate on defense, look no further. Oweh, now entering year 4, didn't just train this offseason, he transformed. Added 20 pounds of muscle to his frame, building on a foundation that already boasted elite speed. The result? A freakishly strong, ultra-fast edge rusher who could be poised to finally become the terror off the edge Ravens fans have been waiting for. Yes, Kyle Van Noy had more sacks last year, but Van Noy is in his 13th season. Oweh is just getting started. And now, with that bulk added to his pass rush arsenal, his bull rush is going to be even nastier, even harder to stop. You mix that with his speed? That's a problem for offensive lines across the league. And speaking of edge rushers, here's the question that's lighting up the comments section. If the Ravens had to bring one of their former stars back for a reunion, who would it be? Matthew Judon, Zadarius Smith, or Jadeveon Clowney? All three are 32 years old. All three bring different skill sets and experience. Clowney had arguably a career year with the Ravens just last season. He fits the system, knows the scheme, and delivered when it counted. But Smith quietly had a strong season, even while playing for the Browns and Lions. Joey Peterson leans towards Zadarius, and for good reason. Judon didn't look like himself last year. Clowney stepped back a bit too. But Smith's been consistently disruptive. If we're going on pure recent performance, he might just be the smartest pickup of the trio. Now, let's switch gears. Preseason predictions. The Ravens are taking on the Cowboys. No Lamar, no starters, but still, fans are eager to see how the depth performs. With guys like Joe Milton and Cooper Rush at quarterback, don't expect fireworks. This isn't going to be a high-scoring affair, but it could be gritty, and that's where we'll see who's really ready to earn those final roster spots. Joey predicts 20-13 Ravens. Modest score, nothing flashy, but the expectation is that this team's defensive depth will force a couple of turnovers and give the offense just enough to pull out the win. That said, let's not expect magic. The preseason isn't about results, it's about reps. And what about the offensive line? Ravens fans have every reason to be concerned. While the tackles and center look strong, interior depth is a problem. Daniel Falale went viral for all the wrong reasons with a rough training camp rep, and Andrew Voorhees didn't exactly shine either. This unit has potential, but it also has question marks. Brandon Scherff is sitting in free agency. Should the Ravens pounce? Should Ben Cleveland get more reps with the ones? That right guard spot remains a critical area to watch as camp continues. If they can't figure that out, it could derail an otherwise elite offense. Let's keep this rolling. While the debate over which edge rusher to bring back has fans split, there's a compelling case to be made for each. Matthew Judon has always brought energy, leadership, and a motor that never quits, but his dip in production last season can't be ignored. Jadeveon Clowney, on the other hand, had a system-fitting, high-impact year in Baltimore, but his ability to repeat that level of performance is in question. Zadarius Smith, he's shown he can still disrupt from multiple alignments and hasn't lost a step, making him arguably the most reliable plug-and-play option. This isn't just about nostalgia. It's about adding the right piece at the right time. If this team wants to go all in, they need rotational strength off the edge, especially in a grueling AFC playoff chase. And with injuries always lurking, adding depth with proven production is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. And while we're talking production, let's turn the spotlight on a player that fans are rooting hard for, Keaton Mitchell. The preseason opener gave us a glimpse of what Mitchell can bring to this offense, and it's explosive. Last year, the staff rushed him back from an ACL tear. 11 months removed from surgery, he was hesitant, not quite himself. But now, he looks confident. His burst is back. He's finding creases. But here's the reality. With a loaded backfield that includes Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, and receiving weapons galore, how many touches can Mitchell realistically expect? Joey Peterson estimates around 10 carries per game, and that feels about right. But it's not just about quantity. With a skill set like Mitchell's, even limited touches can flip the field. He's a home run threat every time he touches the football. If used properly, he could become the Ravens' secret weapon in high-leverage moments. Still, if we're being honest, none of this matters if the offensive line doesn't get figured out. That's the pressure point of this roster right now. The Achilles heel, because no matter how many weapons you have, if the quarterback doesn't have time or the run game can't get to the second level, it all falls apart. Joey made it clear. He loves the tackles. He's all in on the center. But the interior? It's shaky. Daniel Falale is getting beat far too easily. Andrew Voorhees hasn't flashed. It's time to experiment. Whether that means throwing Ben Cleveland into the fire or bringing in a veteran like Brandon Scherf, something has to change. Fast. Because once the regular season starts, the Ravens don't get any warm-ups. They open with a gauntlet, facing top-tier defenses right out of the gate. And speaking of fast starts, all eyes are on Derrick Henry. Can the King still rule the ground game? If he stays healthy, Joey believes 1,400 yards is within reach. But another 1,900-yard season? That's a tall order, even for someone of Henry's caliber. He's not slowing down, but asking for back-to-back seasons at that volume is asking a lot, especially in this offense, which is designed to spread the ball around. With weapons like Flowers, Bateman, Beckham, Andrews, likely, it's not going to be a one-man show. Still, Henry will be the tone setter, the physical enforcer, the guy that makes safety second-guess tackling him in the third quarter. Whether it's 1,400 or 1,900 yards, Henry will be the heartbeat of this offense. Now here's where things get tricky. The Ravens' schedule. Joey said it, and he's right. It's brutal. They've got Buffalo. They've got Kansas City. They've got to battle Cincinnati and Pittsburgh twice. They've got Detroit. It's a gauntlet, and that's why the conversation about the number one seed in the AFC is so complicated. Do they have the talent to get it? Absolutely. But do they have the easier path? Not even close. Buffalo? Cakewalk. Miami and New England aren't the threats they once were. Meanwhile, the Ravens have to fight for every yard. Every week. There's no room for let-ups. Every game will feel like January. But maybe that's what this team needs. Maybe being battle-tested all year will forge something special. Something playoff-proof. And when you talk about building something special, you have to talk about the secondary. Joey highlighted a move that's flying under the radar but could turn out to be huge. The signing of Jair Alexander. For just $4 million, the Ravens might have added one of the smartest, most aggressive corners in the game. Injury concerns? Sure. But if he stays healthy, this could be the most impactful low-cost addition of the offseason. Combine him with Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, and suddenly this secondary is elite again. Opposing quarterbacks are going to have a tough time finding soft spots. And in a league dominated by passing, that's how you win close games in December and January. But what about quarterback depth? One name that keeps popping up, Carson Wentz. Joey's not sold. Neither are a lot of fans. He's got upside, sure, but also brings baggage and inconsistency. Compared to Cooper Rush, who had a brutal outing recently, it's still a toss-up. The truth? If Lamar goes down, this team is in trouble, no matter who the backup is. But if they had